My friends, I want to do a quick little rundown for people that are making pop, rap, EDM, etc. because most people don't understand the importance of how publishing and royalties work, and the big factors of who came up with the melody or the loop, and the difference between regular samples and royalty-free ones. Well, by the end of this video, you're gonna have a better idea of how all of this works, especially from a legal standpoint. So what's happening, fam? You ever hear of a situation in which someone used a sound from someone else or copied a melody, and then it was in headlines because they were coming at them for what was owed? We even have instances where people are suing because they felt someone was inspired by or created a derivative work based on their art. Well, most of the time, this is attributed to melody. So that's the first thing that we're going to break into. Melody. What is a melody? The part of a song that sticks to your head. Now that we've figured out what a melody is, let's continue. When you make an instrumental that includes drums, bass, and a main melody, you're usually entitled to 50% of the publishing royalties and like 3% of the master royalties. That can go from like 2 to 5%, but 3 is like pretty baseline. This would be in collaboration with an artist. However, it can be negated by you just selling the rights of something outright. You with me so far? Okay, awesome. So the next thing is you need to understand that this also gets broken up if you have multiple people that worked on an instrumental. Like let's say you made a guitar lead and came up with this. Now, you send it to a friend and they're like, hey, I love that sound. I want to add some drums and bass to it. And then they do. So you guys agree to a collaboration and then they send this back to you. Regardless how much they add from that point, you created the main melody and are entitled to half of what comes with it, unless they end up using another loop from someone else to accompany it. And then it can get even more confusing, causing a three-way split between the parties. One thing I truly believe is the main instrumental melody is the most important part of a track. Hope you like that guitar melody, by the way. It's from the JST Melodic Spark sample pack that we just dropped, and you can grab that by clicking on the link in the description below. Back to what I was saying, it takes all of 5 minutes to add a drum beat to a song, if I'm being honest, and another couple minutes for the bass line. And that goes for any genre of music, even metal, with the amount of MIDI packs they have out now for sample libraries. So yes, all parties involved are getting a piece of that pie, unless you're using royalty-free samples in which you don't have to split the publishing. It just depends if you're collaborating with someone you know, if you're trying to get more on the back end in the future, just in case the song happens to go viral or something. But I keep mentioning publishing and royalties, so let's explain what that is as well. We can start with publishing. Publishing is all about who owns and manages the rights to a song. A song has 2 types of copyrights. One for the melody and lyrics, and that's the composition, and one for the actual recording. The publisher is the one who holds the copyright for the composition and gets paid whenever a song is used. Getting paid for your music sounds like a good time to me. Royalties are the payments made to the publisher when the song is used. There are different types of royalties too. We have mechanical, performance, and sync royalties. Mechanical royalties are earned when a song is played through like digital outlets, and that's if you want to do something like get your revenue from Spotify streams or downloads and that kind of thing. Then you have to think about performance royalties. And those are earned when a song's in public or it's on the radio or TV or in like a live performance kind of thing. And sync royalties are when a song is used in a TV show or a movie or even an advertisement. And the income that's generated from publishing and royalties can be divided between different individuals involved in the songwriting process, like the composer, the co-writers, the publishers. And there are some baseline percentages, but that can all be changed by a simple publishing agreement. Publishing and royalties are the way that songwriters and publishers get paid when their music's used in different ways, and the income is shared among everybody that was involved in creating it. But as I said before, royalty-free tools kind of absolve you of having to deal with that kind of stuff, and I want to get a bit more into that. Basically, when you buy regular samples, you usually have to follow certain rules about how you can use them. And these rules might limit how many times you can use the sample or where you can use it. And you might have to pay more money if you want to use it in a commercial project. But when you're using royalty-free samples, you usually have more freedom to use them however you want. And you don't have to worry about paying extra money. You can use the samples as many times as you want, as long as you follow the terms of the licensing agreement. Make sure to check out those terms of service. I know it's easy to drag and drop those in the garbage can, but like, come on, people, like respect the people that are helping you out. So if you're looking for samples to use in your music or other projects, it's a good idea to check whether they're regular samples or royalty-free samples, so you know what you're getting yourself into. The next topic that I want to get into is credit etiquette. I really have to separate those words when I say them, or it just sounds weird, like credit etiquette. Credit etiquette. Anyways, one of the shakiest things ever about the music industry is getting credited. And the thing is, a lot of these free sample packs you see online say it's okay to use them, but make sure to give them credit. And let's be real, nobody's crediting these people. And a lot of times, I don't think it's even malicious. When you're making a track and you just start dragging and dropping samples in, you hardly even remember where those files came from. An easy way that producers are learning to fix this issue is they're adding their names to the titles of the loop, so regardless of who the session ends up with, they're easily identified. And I think that's a big step in the right direction. Like, I can't go to someone and they're like, oh, I couldn't figure out who made this loop, because their name's right on the project. And a lot of the paid for packs don't ask you to credit them, and I guess that's up to your discretion, but I always feel like crediting those people is the right thing to do. Here's a few things that you shouldn't be worried about though. For example, don't concern yourself with crediting drum loops or any one-shot samples that aren't melodic, because you can't copyright a drum pattern, drum beat, or a kick, just so we're clear. Also, you can't copyright chords, progressions, and most of all, ideas. And that kind of sucks, but that's reality. As for the stuff that can be credited, let's go over it the right way, because you've worked with these people to create. Let's give them some credit where it's due. And that means recognizing all the people who helped make your song a reality. To do this, the first thing you want to do is make a list of everybody that contributed. And this might include songwriters, composers, producers, or any featured artist, even if somebody just popped in for a harmony. Don't forget those people. Next, you need to decide what each person did to help create the song. For example, did they write the lyrics, the music, or help with the overall sound? Once you know what each person did, you can give them the appropriate amount of credit. And this usually involves listing their name, what they did, and how much of the song they own. And before you release the song, make sure everyone agrees with the credits and is happy with how the ownership is split. Then you gotta register that song with the proper organizations, make sure everyone gets paid, so things like ASCAP and BMI, and make sure to look into those things if you haven't yet. By following these steps, you're gonna make sure everyone who helped create the song is recognized and compensated for their hard work. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to get off my chest this go around. Just felt there was a lot of misinformation when it comes to these topics, and I wanted to dive into it a little bit more. Let's go over all of them one more time. Melody was the first thing we went over, publishing and royalties, and credit etiquette. Credit etiquette. These are some of the most asked questions I get when it comes to the technical aspects of this stuff, and I hope that I cleared up a lot of it for you. As singers and songwriters, producers, and beat makers continue to grow, they have to learn the ins and outs of how the industry works to succeed and move forward. These are a couple things you should know before being too far along. Did I answer your questions on this topic? Is there anything else you want to see like this from me coming up? Leave it in the comments below, and I will chat with you fine people, like I always do. If you're an engineer on the come up, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, you only have to do it one time, and tap that bell for notifications so when a video drops, you know the location. Until next time, my friends, I'll catch you later.